So I did not want to go back and forth with Katt Williams like that. That bothered me so bad. That really bothered me.
The exclusive security video from the Atlanta Comedy Theater in Gwinnett County. You can see Wanda Smith and her husband by the front door.
It was a setup.
Right.
And remember, they tried to kill me this same weekend. Not in jokes, with a real gun in my real face on real camera. Understand, I'm losing my life.
If you've been anywhere near social media this week, you already know the storm surrounding Katt Williams is back, and it's louder than ever. The internet is dragging him all over again, bringing back that infamous radio showdown with the late talk show host Wanda Smith. You remember the clip? Katt roasted her live on her own show so brutally that the internet nearly broke in real time. Jaws dropped, memes went viral, and it instantly became one of the most talked about comedy clashes in history. But now, years later, that moment is being painted in a whole new light. People are saying Katt didn't just clown Wanda that day. He wrecked her career, a career she had spent decades building. Some voices online are even calling him a menace, accusing him of going too far, of humiliating her so badly that it casts a shadow she never escaped from. It's not just playful banter anymore. It's being labeled as a day her reputation never recovered. And to make things even messier, all of this resurfaced right after Katt tried to clean up another controversy. He had just publicly apologized for mocking Michael Jackson in one of his old specials. And before the dust had settled,
If you do anything wrong in your life, and I find out about it, I'm going to try to take everything away from you. And I don't care when I find out. Could be today, tomorrow, 15, 20 years from now. If I find out, you're fucking finished. Who's that? That's you.
fans shifted the spotlight back to Wanda. Now they're demanding he extend that same apology to her family, claiming they deserve it after what she went through. The backlash is loud, emotional, and relentless. But here's the twist. Not everyone is piling on. Dave Chappelle jumped straight into the fire, planting himself firmly in Katt's corner. According to Chappelle, this wasn't bullying. This was comedy. Pure, raw, and unfiltered. Exactly the way Katt has always delivered it. He reminded people that Wanda came at Katt first, throwing the initial jab, and Katt did what great comedians do. He flipped it back instantly, sharp as ever. No stalling, no hesitation. 142. And Chappelle didn't just offend Katt. He went all in. He blasted today's cancel culture, saying people are acting like digital treasure hunters, digging through old interviews just to find dirt, and drag comedians down for something that happened years ago. Which raises a real question. Was Katt really out of line with Wanda, or is this just another case of the internet rewriting history for clicks? And why is Dave Chappelle so quick to defend him, while Wanda's name is back in the fire like this? Because here's the wild part. Right before this Wanda drama resurfaced, Katt Williams shocked fans when he publicly apologized to Michael Jackson's family. He admitted he regrets those old MJ jokes, saying he now sees how he was being used by bigger forces in Hollywood. According to Katt, the system wanted black men tearing each other down for laughs and profit, and he played right into it. He said, "They cut the checks, they booked the stages, and I was part of their agenda." But instead of applause for owning up, social media came swinging. Instead of giving him credit for accountability, they called him a hypocrite. They dragged him, saying, "If you're sorry to MJ, then you owe apologies to a whole list of people," starting with Wanda Smith. Suddenly, that old Atlanta interview got thrown back in his face like it happened yesterday. Critics said Katt's roast didn't just sting. It derailed Wanda's rep for years. The internet came alive with takes. One user wrote, "Katt Williams is a menace for what he did to Wanda Smith." Another chimed in, "I remember when Katt roasted Wanda, and Atlanta laughed with him. It was funny then, but Katt crosses the line way too much. And now that Wanda's gone, people want to act like they always supported her." This is where the conversation cut deep. Fans weren't just talking about jokes anymore. They were saying Katt turned comedy into career-ending humiliation. But not everyone is dragging him. Some fans are standing tall for Katt, and at the front of that defense is Dave Chappelle. He compared Katt's Wanda clash to his own fight with cancel culture after his trans jokes made headlines worldwide. Chappelle said comedy is the last free speech zone, and if comedians let the internet silence them, the art form itself is dead. Heavy words, heavy backing. And for Katt, that defense carries serious weight. But let's not twist this. This story isn't just about cancel culture. There's a darker angle people forget. Katt once claimed that Wanda and her husband actually tried to confront him after the interview. Like the joke spilled off the airwaves and into real street-level beef. Imagine that, a comedy roast turning into a real-life showdown. To understand how wild it got, you gotta rewind to September 2018. That's when Katt and his fellow comedian Red Grant stopped by Frank and Wanda in the morning to promote a comedy run in Atlanta. What should have been a normal 20-minute radio spot turned into one of the most viral clips in V103 history. And it wasn't by accident. Katt flipped the whole interview upside down. Wanda tried to press him, but Katt went nuclear, dropping roast after roast with surgical precision, leaving the studio stunned. At first, everything seemed cool. The jokes were light, the vibe playful. But when Wanda stumbled with her shade, Katt flipped the script instantly. His roasting precision had people doubled over. Then, out of nowhere, Katt pivoted to Tiffany Haddish. He claimed she snagged a massive Netflix bag without ever grinding the comedy circuit, like the legends had to. And Katt didn't stop there. He straight up questioned Tiffany's credibility, saying no one could name a single original joke she'd written. That's when he cracked open a bigger conversation. How Hollywood constantly sidelines insanely talented black women in comedy, while someone like Tiffany gets fast-tracked to front. According to Katt, Tiffany wasn't chosen for her grind. She was picked because she was safe, handpicked to charm mainstream white audiences. Wanda wasn't having it. She jumped in to defend Tiffany, saying her rise came from being real. But Katt shut that down quick. He claimed Tiffany's success boiled down to two things: always talking about dating white men and having lighter skin. The room went dead silent before chaos erupted. Katt even threw Tiffany's name out directly, like he was calling her to the stage. The tension in the studio was off the charts. That's when Wanda tried to flip it. She came at Katt with a playful jab about his cooking for his kids, hoping to turn the crowd. But Katt sliced through her attempt like a blade. He twisted her words so fast, it was like he was running an entire interview. Then he swerved into Wanda's family life, bringing up her kids. And suddenly it wasn't just banter anymore. It was a full-blown verbal beatdown live on Atlanta radio. Wanda tried to hide her anger with fake giggles, but the fire was in her face. She reached for Katt's messy past, his arrests, his hair, even clowning his record. But that only fueled him more. Katt flipped every jab into another roast. When she called him Little Mama and hinted he might be gay, Katt shut it down instantly, twisting it back on her and making the studio laugh even harder. At that point, it wasn't a fair fight. Wanda was being humiliated in her own house. But the fallout didn't stay in the studio. Days later, it spilled into the streets. Reports say Wanda's husband Lamorris and even her son confronted Katt outside the Atlanta Comedy Theater where she was hosting. Witnesses claim Lamorris came strapped. Security footage showed the heated confrontation. And then chaos, as Lamorris chased Katt to the parking lot with what looked like a gun. Katt ducked into a grocery store, like his life was on the line. Police reports confirmed Lamorris admitted to chasing Katt, though he swore he never aimed or fired the gun, claiming it slipped while he ran. Wanda later spun the story on her radio show, saying Katt showed up to clown her again, and her husband was only defending her. But then TMZ dropped the bombshell. The footage clearly showed Lamorris chasing Katt with the weapon in hand. Even without shots fired, the damage was done. By January 2019, Wanda was suddenly fired from V103. The station gave no reason, but the streets connected it back to that infamous interview, especially those Lil Mama comments that used gay as an insult. In Atlanta, a city with one of the largest and proudest black LGBTQ communities, that didn't sit right. For many, it explained why her time at the station ended so abruptly. Katt, meanwhile, stayed silent. No gloating, no commentary, just distance. But fast forward to January 2024, and Katt finally broke his silence on Club Shay Shay. He claimed Wanda had promised before the interview not to bring up his kids or legal past. But when she did, live on air, all bets were off. According to Katt, she broke the deal and forced his hand. He also claimed Wanda deliberately tried to humiliate him in front of her LGBTQ fan base, and that's what ultimately ended her career, not his roasting. Then came October 2024, when tragedy struck. Wanda Smith passed away one day after her 58th birthday. Katt stayed silent again, no tribute, no condolences. Some fans saw that as respect, refusing to fake sympathy. Others called it cold, saying he should have at least acknowledged her death. Whether he reached out privately or not, nobody knows. But what's clear is that her passing reopened the wound, and social media wasted no time dragging Katt's name all over again. Now, the internet is trying to cancel Katt Williams for an interview that happened 6 years before Wanda's death. An interview he says almost got him killed in the aftermath. That's not just messy, that's wild. And honestly, it proves what Dave Chappelle warned about. Cancel culture doesn't just punish mistakes. It rewrites comedy itself. If comedians can't even roast in a comedy setting without facing backlash years later, what happens to the art form? So here's the question. Should Katt Williams really apologize to Wanda's family, the way he did to Michael Jackson's? Or is this just the internet reaching too far for clicks, clout, and chaos? Some say Katt owes that family respect. Others say Wanda knew what she signed up for when she jumped in the ring. What do you think? Did Katt Williams cross the line, or is this cancel culture going way too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like, share, and subscribe button. And stay tuned, because this story is far from over.